Okay, hi everyone. Today we're going to do paper 3, 2023. All right, the first question is write down in ascending order the factors missing for 16. We know to find factors of 16 using the apparent method was 1 multiplied by 16 and 16. Can 2 and 16 yes? 2 multiplied by what? 2 multiplied by 8 and then 4 by 4. So we see that the only one that is missing here is 2 and 8. So that's the answer for the first one. Second one is write down the two missing factors of 16 in ascending order as a power of 2. Right? We know it's 2 to the power of 0 is your first factor, which is 1. Then 2 to the power of something would be 2. Then 2 to the power of something, no, 2 to the power of 2 is equals to 4. And then 2 to the power of something is equals to 8. And 2 to the power of 4 is equals to 16. Right? You can use your calculator just to check. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. So you know that this one that is missing here is 2 to the power of 1. Then we can see that it's actually increasing by 1. The power 0, 1, 2. So it is safe to say 2 to the power of 3. But you can check it on your calculator. 2 to the power of 3 is in fact 8. So we know that this would be 2 to the power of 3. That is your answer. Right. Given that r is a prime number, state the 4 factors of r. This will be r to the power of 3 as a power of r has one of the as a power of r, 1 has been written for you. So if we compare what we see here, we see that the number, this has 4 factors. How many factors did 16 have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many powers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be, we see that they are increasing. So it is r to the power of 1, r to the power of 2, and r to the power of 3. So these would be it. How would you figure that out? By comparing. You need to see the pattern and the relationship between what they have been asking you and how you would find this. So if they tell you to have 4 factors of r to the power of 3, we know that is when r, and we look at this, we see that your power was increasing by 1. So that is simply what we use. We use the pattern from above to find this. R to the power 0, r to the power 1, r to the power 2, and r to the power 3. And that is your answer. State in terms of n the number of factors of r to the power of n. Meaning, what you are doing, what did you do to get that n? Would be n plus 1. Right? And that is how you would find your factors. You are simply adding 1 to n to get your power. Right? I want to know, express 2,187 in the form of 3 to the power of p. So what you can do is simply use a calculator and put 3 to the power of 1, you'll get 3. So we know p is not equals to 1. P to the power of 2, that's 9, it's not 2. P to the power of 3 is 27. P to the power of 4 is 81. 3 to the power of 5 is 243. 3 to the power of 6 is 729. 3 to the power of 7 is 2,187. So using your calculator, because you can't use a calculator, you would see that P is equal to 7. And that's simply how you would do this question. Hence, determine the number of factors of 2187. Remember, look at this. The number of factors is n plus 1. Right? So if it is n plus 1, where n is your power, right, then n plus 1 tells us it would be 7 plus 1, which is equal to 8. So 8 is the number of factors that I would have for 2,187. Right? Again, this is for looking at the patterns, okay? Or you could simply, you have your calculator and they told you not to write them out, but if you don't see this pattern, you could simply write them out and just count the number of factors, right? All right, now part C, they gave you a table. 40 is not a prime number. They told you that 40 is 2 to the power 3 multiplied by 5 to the power 1, where 2 and 5 are prime numbers. Complete the table to find the factors of 40 that are missing. First off, this is simple multiplication. 2 to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is 1. That is 1 by 1 is 1. So we know that the answer for this would be 1. And then 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 is 8, I believe. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Right? 8 multiplied by 5 is 40. So you know your answer here is 40. Right? Or you could have simply said, if you look at the relationship, you're multiplying this by 5. 2 by 5 is 10. 4 by 5 is 20. 8 by 5 is 40. You could always just check that out. Now, they said describe how to find the number of factors of 40 using the number of rows and the number of columns. Right? So you have to look at the pattern that is going on, and what you would see is we are multiplying the multiply the number of rows by the number of columns. This will give you the total numbers for the factors just now. For the factors of 40. What you can do to make sure this is correct is, first off, 40, you write your factors of 40. That's 1 and 40, 2 and 20. Is it 3? No. Is it 4? Yes. 4 and 10, 5 and 8. Right? These are your factors of 40. How much is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? If you multiply the number of rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, by the number of columns, 1, 2, you can see you also get 8. So to make sure that this is correct, right, you can write out your factors of 40, right? Write out your factors of 40 and count them. Right? And see how you would correlate 8, how you would get 8 from the number of rows and columns. Right? Because they ask you saying using the number of rows and columns. Yeah? Let's do a next one. Given that 5,000 is equal to 2 to the power 3 multiplied by 5 to the power 4, determine the number of factors of 5,000. Now, let us look at this. They told you for factors of 40, it is 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 5 to the power of 1. If we look at this, the number of rows, that is the ones that's going across, is 3 plus 1. Right? So your number of rows is your power plus 1. Right? And your number of columns would be, again, the number of columns would be your power, which is 1 plus 1. So if we look at it, to find out, to determine, let's do this first. To determine how much rows are there, it would be the number of rows. Let's write this down. The number of rows would be 3 plus 1, which is equals to 4. And the number of columns would be 4 plus 1, which is equals to 5. And we said to find the total number of factors, you multiply the number of rows by the number of columns, which is 4 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 20. And that is how you would get the number of rows, sorry, the number of factors for 5,000 given this, right? Again, you need to look for the patterns, right? Now, they said, write 1,944 in the form of 2 to the power of p multiplied by 3 to the power of q, where p and q are integers, given that this has 24 factors. Okay, they told you how much factors there are. It's 24 factors. So what are the multiples of 24? 1 and 24, then 2 and 12, then 3 and 8, and then let's just put a 6 and 4, right? So your PRN will tell you the number of factors here. So we know that it is P plus 1 multiplied by Q plus 1 would give you 24. Not so? How did I get that? Remember the formula here. Your number of rows would be, you add in 1, and the number of columns, you add 1 to your power, and then when you multiply them, you're supposed to get 24. So let us find out what, using this, we will find out what is P and Q. P plus 1 and Q plus 1, right? These are your factors. So when this here is equals to 1, so P would now be, so hold on, let me do this properly. Right. So P plus 1 is your first factor. Right. P plus 1 is equals to 1, and Q plus 1 is equals to 24. Then P is equals to 0, and Q is equals to 23. If you put that in, right, you are not getting 24, right? Then you say P plus 1 is equals to 2, and Q plus 1 is equals to 12. That is, P is equals to 1 and Q is equal to 11. You will not get 24, right? Then you want P plus 1 and then Q plus 1. P plus 1 is equals to 3 and Q plus 1 is equals to 12. So P is equals to 2 and Q is equals to 11. That is not correct either. Then that's 3 and no, it's supposed to be 8. It's supposed to be 9, 7. Hold on. Equals to 8, so Q is equals to 7. Then we have P plus 1 is equals to 4, and Q plus 1 is equals to 6. So P is equals to 3, and Q is equals to 5. What you are going to do is the values that you get for P and Q, you're going to put it here. So you're going to put 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 1, multiplied by 3 to the power, what was Q when P was equal, 2 to the power of 0, multiplied by 5 to the power of 23, 5 to the power of 23. Would you get this answer? You are trying to find values for P and Q to get 1,944, all right? So no, this one is, you'll get a huge number. So you can't use this one. What about when P is 1 and Q is 11? That is 2 to the power of 1 multiplied by 3 to the power of 11. Nope, that you're getting still too much of a big answer. So it's not this answer either. Then we're going to look at when P is equals to 2 and Q is equals to 7. Right, so that's 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 to the 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of 7. You're getting 8,000. You're not going to get that. So it's not this one. Right, and what about 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by, what is Q? 3 to the power of 5. You are in fact getting 1,944. So what you are going to do is you are solving for what P and Q may be, right? And then you are putting the values that you get for P and Q into this equation here, and you're going to see if you get 1,944. So P is equals to 3 and Q is equals to 5. That is how you would do this question. And why I put my factors of 24 is, remember, do we understand it is P plus 1 by Q plus 1 is equals to 24? We understand that? So once you understand that part, you write out your factors of 24. So what multiplied by what would give you 24? Right? We know it's 1 by 24. So P is 0 and Q is 23. We see that if you put it into this formula here, right, when P is 0 and Q is 23, you're not getting this answer here. You do it for the rest until you get 1,944. This is a lot. Let's do number 2. The diagram below shows the position of 3 small islands, L, M, and K, located in a river. The bearing from of M from L, so let's draw that, the bearing of M from L, that is, you begin at L and you ending up at M. So this angle here is 45 degrees or 0.45 if we're talking about bearings, right? Then they said the bearing of K from L. So from L to K, that is this angle here, is equal to 126 degrees. The bearing of K from M, that is from M to K, that is from here to here, is 164. And then they said the distance from M to K is 63, which I already have. Determine the values of A and B. Now, we have done this. This is a bearings type question. So if you look at B, we can see that angle B is equal to your difference. B dash W means between, right? Between 126 and 45. Right, so 126 minus 45, 126 minus 45 is equal to 81. So my answer for B would be equal to 81. Super easy, right? Now let's do the next question, which is they want angle A. Now, if we recognize, right, if we find this angle here, and 164, that is 160 degrees because that's one complete turn. Yes? So what we can say is angle A is equals to 360 minus 164 plus your bearing, angle, let's not use bearing, angle NML. What is NL? NML, that is, this is N here, ML. So this angle that I have in light blue, right? Can I find that angle there? We know that these two north lines are parallel. Hence, we can say that, let's put this back in black, angle NML and angle NLM, that's NLM, that's 45 degrees, are interior angles. Meaning when you add them up, it's 180. So 45 plus NML is equal to 180. So NML would be 180 minus 45. All right, 180 minus 45 is 135. So now let's write in our value. So A is equals to 360 minus 164 plus 135. Right? So we can put that in our calculator. 360 minus, open bracket, 164 plus 135. Let's just close that bracket. Is equal to 61. So angle A is equals to 360 minus 299, which is equals to 61. So that is how I would find my values of A and B. I'd calculate the distance of LK. So we know we have two angles. We have B and we have A, and we have one side. All right, so the corresponding side of B is 63, and the corresponding side of A is LK, which you're trying to find out. So immediately, because I have said that, you are going to say, we're going to use sine rule, right? Which is LK over sine A is equals to MK over sine B, right? And purposes, I'm just putting this here so we can see it. The reason why we use sine rule is we have one side and two angles. And usually when we have one side and two angles, and the one side is corresponding with an angle, meaning it is opposite the angle given, we use sine rule. So MK and sine and angle B are corresponding, and angle A is corresponding with LK. Right? So we don't know what LK is, so that is, let's just put in the values. That's LK over sine A, which was 61, is equals to MK, which is 63, over sine 81, which is what we found for B. All right? Then we are going to do something called, well, you know what? Let's leave LK by itself. So you're going to carry this across over the equal sign. That is going to turn to divide by. So LK is equal to 63 over sine 81 in brackets cross division, right? If I carry it across division, I'll turn to multiply. So it is sine 63 sine 81, not divide, but multiply by sine. So sine 63 divided by sine 81 multiply by sine 61 is equal to, so LK is equal to 55.79 kilometers to 2 decimal places. And that would be your answer for this question. For part B now, the diagram below shows a scale drawing of 4 parts of a building plan. In the diagram, BC is parallel to DE, and BA is parallel to DC. AE is a straight line. AC is X. BC is 3.5, so this is 3.5. DE is 6.5 and AE, so AE is 12 centimeters. Now, because they are parallel, right, because they are made up of these parallel lines, right, we say that triangle ABC and triangle CDE are, again, triangle ABC and CDE are similar triangles. What does that mean? That they have the same angles, right? This angle here and this angle here are the same, all right? But they're not the same size, all right? So what we know is that they are scales of each other. So when they say to calculate AC, that's X, what you would say is DE, you want to find the scale over BC, is equal to CE over AC. All right, what is DE? That's 6.5 over 3.5 is equals to CE is 12 minus X over X. So you cross multiply here, so you get 6.5. What am I putting? You got 6.5 by X, so 6.5X. 6.5X is equal to 3.5 by 12 minus X. So 6.5X is equals to 3 by 12.5, sorry, 3.5 by 12 is 42 minus 3.5X, basically going to make X the subject, you carry this across. So you say 6.5X plus 3.5X is equals to 42. So that's 10X is equals to 42 divided by 10. So X is equals to 4.2. So my length of AC would be 42. And this is because, again, that these triangles are similar. So they have a ratio to each other. And because BC and DE are corresponding sides, that is why if we look at the ratio of 6.5 to 3.5, you can see that it is always also corresponding with side CE to AC. All right, so side AC, which is equals to X, is equal to 4.2 centimeters. All right, now they said if triangle ABC is 7 centimeters and the total area of the portion of the building ABC, what determine the total area of the portion of ABC? Now, remember I told you that there are scale factors of each other. If we remember, the area of CDE multiplied by the area, no, multiplied by K squared, sorry. What am I saying? Right. Area of ABC multiplied by your scale factor squared is equals to the area of CDE. This was a formula that we learned for scale factors, right? I told you that you have to multiply the scale factor, you have to square it, right? When we're talking about area, all right? So if we put this ABC, so that's 7 centimeters squared multiplied by K squared is equals to the area of CDE. Now we can find out K because K would be 6.5 divided by 3.5. So K squared would be 6.5 over 3.5 squared. So K squared is equal to, well, we should leave it like that. Let's leave it like that because you'll get a big, what you call it, you'll get a big decimal, or you'll get a large number. So we're leaving K squared as that. So that is 7 multiplied by 6.5 over 3.5 squared is equal to your area of CDE. When you multiply that, CDE, so the area of CDE would be equal to, this is equal to 24 and 1/7. But they ask you for the total area. So my total area would be 24 and 1/7 plus 7, which is equal to 31 and 1/7 centimeters squared. And that would be the answer for this question. All right, and that is the end of paper 3, May, June. May, June.